OK, Gareth Southgate names his squad tomorrow, and there are a number of positions which may pose some question marks for him due to retirement and also lack of playing time for potential candidates. So, in general, how much do we think Gareth has got to think about tomorrow?
I think he's got some good decisions to make tomorrow in terms of it's a youthful squad anyway, but he has an opportunity in these games now to blood some really young players. And your question, the likes of Foden is the obvious one. His ability, but he's not playing enough football now, so as you mentioned, that could be a difficult call. The likes of Gomez coming in, the boy Sancho possibly at Dortmund, who's gone there to play football, had a great pre-season, ripped it up in pre-season, played the first 2 league games as well. So he has some decisions, but some great ones to make.
Just on a couple of the decisions that he has to make. Now, for me, he knows what the likes of Jordan Henderson can do. He'd probably know what Loftus-Cheek can do. Now, them two, I'm just picking them two out. They haven't played a great deal this season. So, whilst it would give them a boost to be in the squad, does he not maybe pick another couple of lads to give them an opportunity to come in and to bed them? Because you know what Jordan Henderson can do anyway. Maybe it's Loftus-Cheek you would want to put in. But having said that, he hasn't played a great deal of football, so would you put him back in the squad?
But Craig, would you think Gareth Southgate would want to keep the momentum from the summer and try and keep as much of that group together too?
Of course he would, and you know, England supporters, I'm sure, would like to see that as well. Look, it was a brilliant World Cup. I'm not too carried away in the performance side of it, and it was as I believe any England team over the generations would have got to the semi-final. But the way they went about it, and look, and the way England have been going about it for a number of years, especially at youth level, I believe is they're going to the next. The European Championships, I think they're going to be a force. Next World Cup, I think they're going to be a real force. And they've been building towards this for a number of years now, and it pains me to say, I think...
Pains them.
Don't be like that.
But I think England they're onto a good thing.
You're our friendly neighbour.
Friendly, yes.
The problem's still going to be there, isn't it? You're right, Craig. The problem's going to be there, how these talented young players that you mentioned, if you look at 16, 17, 18, 19, right the way through, there's a lot of talent. Really is a lot of talent. How do we get them the pitch time?
But, that's always the concern. But they're winning tournaments at younger age groups as well. And I'm a big fan of Sancho. I said last year on the show, I would put him straight into the squad. He's that good. But also a player, and there's another player I'm going to throw out there as well. I'd love to see him involved in the squad. I believe he would have been if he would have got his move. He could help England in a lot of ways as Grealish. Jack Grealish, I'd really think about putting this boy in because he's the way he plays the game. I think what England are lacking, he could give them. He could give them that extra dimension as well going forward, that extra creativity, especially with the pace he has around him, especially the way they look to play. I think he could be the perfect fit for him.
OK, I mean, we don't know the actual number that's going to be in the squad tomorrow. Gareth might throw in a couple of extra players because it is a friendly, give a few youngsters a chance, but the chaps have come up with what they think the squad should and may well be tomorrow. Let's have a look, starting with the goalkeepers. Now, this is a really interesting debate because Jordan Pickford picks himself, obviously. Jack Butland down in the Championship, not doing particularly well.
No, he's had a difficult start to the season, I think it's fair to say. But I think he would have done enough for Gareth Southgate over the World Cup and preceding games to justify that place.
But you three have gone for Alex McCarthy at Southampton over Joe Hart.
Well, for me, I think Joe's done OK. But again, I think this lad, I think you've got to give him an opportunity. I think some of the times that I've seen him last season and the start of this season, whilst results haven't gone brilliant, I think he's put in some really good performances. So I think he deserves his opportunity.
Also, as well, do you think it would be seen as a retrograde step to go back with Joe Hart?
I think Gareth made a statement, didn't he, in the World Cup in the selection. And it's not retrograde. Joe Hart's a top professional, I'm sure. But so there's no lack of respect for Joe Hart.
No,
but
not
I think
at all.
looking forward now and blooding youngsters, likewise, give McCarthy his chance.
Yeah.
OK. Was it any easier picking defenders?
There's a fair few there.
There's a fair few, but you've got the ones in the World Cup did so well, the likes of Trippier, Walker, Stones, etc. Maguire, obviously outstanding World Cups. I like Tarkowski.
Now, you know Tarkowski. You signed him, didn't you?
We know James from... Yeah, he came to us from Oldham, but I think he's got the character, strength of character, the quality, technical quality, physicality.
Should he eye the place that Gary Cahill has just vacated? Is he almost a natural
You would have thought so,
replacement?
because he's not similar to Stones. Stones is a different player. He's a one where, he likes to bring the ball out and feed it into the forwards. I think Tarkowski is a one where he loves a diagonal, and he's very good at doing that diagonal. He's very good as well from set plays. So, do I feel as though he's a definite switch for Cahill? Yes, but he's certainly not the kind of a Stones kind of player.
Craig, if Luke Shaw is in tomorrow, is that reward for the hard work he's put in the summer, getting his head down, getting over the disappointment of not going, getting himself in the best possible nick, and back in the squad?
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of Rose. He's just had one or two problems, especially with injury as well. When he's up and running, he's one of the best wing backs England have for me. But I do like Shaw. I like that balance as well. I thought they struggled with that balance.
So there's no Young in there at the moment?
Yeah, and I was just going to touch on to Young as well. I thought he done a good job for England, but I just thought that balance of the team, especially the later stage, especially against Croatia, was found wanting a bit there as well.
The right foot.
Yeah, exactly. So Shaw, he definitely deserves his chance. He's put in some really good performances for Manchester United, but Gomez, I think he would have been definitely involved in the squad for the World Cup, so it was great to see him fit. It'd be interesting to see what he does with Gomez, because if he might put him out to the right side of the free, what's he going to do with Walker? What's he going to do with Trippier? Because Trippier had a great World Cup, and Walker you have to start. So look, he's going to have a few selection problems, but good selection problems as well. I see England's squad going from strength to strength for the next few years.
OK, let's have a look at the midfield then, because equally there's some interesting choices to be made here. And one of the big things is Gareth has always made it very, very clear that he will only go with players who are playing for their clubs.
And that, for me, Craig's comments about Grealish, when you look at Foden there, Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Phil Foden playing at the highest level with Man City, Grealish playing in the Championship, but playing week in, week out. So, again, that's a tough call.
Well, if you look at the list, going from the bottom, Lallana, Loftus-Cheek, Foden and Henderson have not been playing huge amounts of football this season.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I do... we never really mentioned it when we were talking before, but I do like the Grealish shout, I have to be honest. But as I said, I mean, with Lallana, and, the lads that you've just mentioned, Jeff, that haven't been played a great deal of football, are they going to be slightly off the pace when they turn up for training? Or what? I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get. But it's a difficult one for me. I think they're all good players, and I think they all warrant being there. But at the same time, he did say that he was going to go for players that's always been playing. So.
All right, let's have a look at the forwards then, see how that affects that selection. Because there's one name here that really, really interests me, and all three of you, straight away, he's not even playing his football in this country, and that's Jadon Sancho. Particularly with the news that Jamie Vardy has retired. So, I mean, is that a big call, or in many ways is it...
I really like him. I know Craig mentioned before, I really like him. I like the fact that he's had such a good pre-season. He's been such an impact on the tour. He's come back and started the first two league games. It's a great shame he has to go abroad to get that pitch time, and the problem we referred to earlier. I think it's exciting, pace, and I think he's one that could really benefit the England squad. What
sort of player is he, Craig?
Well, like we were talking about him, like I remember watching him at youth level when he was 16. It was hard to tell what position he was because he was just that good. He was picking it up off the goalkeeper one minute, then he's at the end of a cross the next. Then he was just everywhere. He was just such a talented footballer. And look, I just thought he's just another one who's just going to come through Man City. And obviously we're quite aware, what happened there. I think he was planning on his move to Spurs. Manchester City were never going to allow it to happen. But I seen it as a really good step. As a young kid willing to go to Dortmund, willing to go and learn his football in a different environment, different culture. And we all know about the German culture as well. It's perfect for him. England, I think that's probably the best move, and for England and for him, that could have happened. And this boy is a serious player. And like I said this last year, if you don't know his name, look him up, because you're going to know his name in the next couple of years. He's going to be a big, big player for England.